Hello everyone, welcome to the channel foodtechgeeks where I Rachna Sharma upload videos, lectures, tutorials, career guidance videos, exam related videos on food science and technology. So in today's video, we will solve and discuss FSSAI CFSO previous year question paper. So before doing that, let's first discuss the pattern of the paper. So the paper has two sections. Section 1, which has 25 questions, and the questions are asked from general knowledge, mental ability, reasoning, and English. And section 2 has 75 total questions, and these questions are from our subject fundamentals. The section contains questions from FSSAI, Codex, and different food organizations, and also from the different disciplines of food science and technology. So in today's video, we will be covering our section 2. So let's start the questions of section 2. The question 1 is Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority, that is APIDA, was established by the Government of India in. The answer is February 1986, and APIDA is established by Government of India under the Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority Act. So you need to remember this thing. And the major functions of APIDA includes the development of industries related to exports and fixing of standards for export products and carrying out various inspections, improving the packaging of export products and promotion of export products, and etc. So its main basic function is related to export of Indian food products, and which are mostly based on agriculture food products. And there are 12 regional offices of APIDA and one head office which is in New Delhi. Next question. In case of seized food article is perished and is unfit for human consumption, the food safety officer should. So the right answer is, after giving notice in writing to the FBO, that is food business operator, destroy the same. So this is the action which is required to be taken by the food safety officer if the seized food sample is perishable. The next question is, the objective of the edible oil packaging regulation order 1998 is to. So as the name suggests, that its main work is to ensure that the safe and good quality edible oil is available to everyone. So the right answer is option 4. It ensures the availability of safe and quality edible oil in packed form. Next question. The full form of IUU fishing is. So it stands for illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. So illegal fishing takes place when the harvesters operate the process of fishing in violation of a law of fishery, and IUU occurs in most fisheries, and it accounts nearly up to 30% of total catches in some important fisheries. So this stands for illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing. Next question is, BIS certification for drinking water is a. So in this the answer is given as voluntary standards, but in my just previous video where I have discussed the major highlights in food science and technology in the year 2021, I have discussed that now FSSAI has made it mandatory for every manufacturer and processor of drinking water to have the BIS certification. So now the correct answer is mandatory, that is option 4. The option 3 was correct up to year 2020, but from year 2021 it is mandatory to have the BIS certification for drinking water bottles. So the answer is option 4. Please keep this in mind. The answer is option 4, that is mandatory. Next question. BIS is the national standards body supported by. So we know BIS stands for Bureau of Indian Standards. So it comes under Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. So the main function of BIS is for harmonious development of activities of standardization, marketing, and quality certification of goods. And the headquarters of BIS is in New Delhi, and it has 5 regional offices. Next question is, a society that organizes grassroots level awareness program among fishermen, fisherwomen, processing workers, and other stakeholders, thereby changing their mindset towards fish quality management and responsible fishing, is called as. So we know that MAPIDA stands for Marine Products Export Development Authority, And under MEPIDA, a new society has been formed, that is NetFish. It stands for Network for Fish Quality Management and Sustainable Fishing. So this is the society which was formed under MEPIDA in 2006. And the main objectives of NetFish is to improve the quality of fishery products exported from our country, and it works to empower fishery sector by giving knowledge to fishermen and fisherwomen and the processor workers, etc., on fish quality management and sustainable fishing. So the correct answer is option 1. This is the society which is being formed under MEPIDA. Next question. An important catalyst in the conception of Codex Alimentarius Commission is. So a very different question. So the correct answer is International Dairy Federation. So if we talk about the timeline of Codex Alimentarius, so let's first understand exact meaning of conception. So it means the concept, the idea, the thought. So like what thing uh, catalyze the idea of the establishment of Codex. So the right answer is IDF. So Codex Alimentarius Commission was founded by FAO in 1961. We all know this thing. So in 1903, IDF was there in the existence, and it made standards and labeling requirements for milk and milk products. So after the initial period in which it developed its own standards, IDF asked FAO to take over the task as an intergovernmental and international organization. So then the joint FAO and WHO committee began its work in 1958 on codes of milk and milk products, and then they modified these codes which were being made by IDF and the procedures, and then they used them as the codes for CAM for development of worldwide codex standards. So this is how the International Dairy Federation catalyzed the concept of Codex Alimentarius Commission. So basically the rules and regulations, the standards which were being made by IDF were modified, and they made the base of Codex Alimentarius Commission's standards. So the answer is 1. Next question is, a petty food manufacturer is someone who has a tiny food business with an annual turnover not exceeding. The answer is 12 lakh. And you should know what are the small businessman, large businessman, and then petty food manufacturer. So these all are being given in FSSAI Act. So just go through that thing. Next question. The food authority comprises of 22 members, of which women shall make up to. So the answer is 1/3. So there are a total of 22 members, and out of these 1/3 should be women. So if we talk about the categories of different members in this total number, so 7 members are directly appointed by central government. 2 members are the representatives from food industries. 2 members are the representatives from consumer organization. 3 members are eminent food technologists and scientists. 5 members are to be appointed by rotation after every 3 years. 2 members are from farmers organization, and 1 member is from retailers organization. So this is the total organization of FSSAI authority. So if we talk about today's time, so the chairperson of FSSAI is Shri Rajesh Bhushan, and the CEO of FSSAI is Shri Arun Singhal. So you should know this. The next question, the designated officer performs the following functions except. So he has the power to sanction and launch prosecutions, issuing and cancelling license of food business operators, and investigate any complaint against FSOs, but it do not have the function to seize any article of food. So this is not the function of a designated officer. Next question, as per the FSSA Act 2006, purchaser may have any food article analyzed by. So the answer is informing the food business operator at the time of purchase of his intention. Next question, which of the following is not a part of risk analysis? So the answer is risk prevention. So we have risk assessment, risk communication, and then risk management. So these are the components of any risk analysis, risk assessment. So risk prevention is not a part of risk assessment. Next question: health is defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity by. This is a very famous definition of health which is being given by WHO. Next is Codex standards are used to. So again, a very easy question. The standards are meant to protect the health of the consumers and ensure fair practices in food trade. Next question: adulterant means so any particle which is being added to the food for the purpose of adulteration, that are known as adulterants. The licensing authority for the manufacture of mineral water and packaged drinking water in India is, so the answer is BIS. This thing has been very clearly discussed in our last video. You can see that video also. Maximum residue limits for individual pesticides in or on specific commodities is proposed by. So the answer is JMPR. It stands for Joint Meeting on Pesticide Residues. So it specifies what should be the maximum residue limits of pesticide in a particular food article. Next question is: the organization responsible for formulating Indian standards for fresh and processed fish is, so the answer is BIS. Just in the last few questions, I have discussed that BIS has a function to harmonize development of activities of standardization, marketing, and quality certification of Indian goods. So this is the function of BIS. Next question: the Codex standards are, so they are voluntary. Codex standards are not mandatory for any country, but they are just voluntary. Any country can voluntarily accept the norms and standards of Codex. Next question: chairperson of food authority should be well versed in the field of, very common question and a very common answer, food science. Next question: the director of APIDA is appointed by. So the director of APIDA is appointed by APIDA itself. So the chairperson, the highest position, that chairman, he is being appointed by central government, while the director is appointed by the APIDA only. Next question: the full form of MRA is, so the answer is microbiological risk assessment. Next question: an autonomous commercial policy instruct directed to promote and sustain mutual trade and to develop economic cooperation among countries is termed as. So the answer is certificate of origin. Now what is certificate of origin? So it is important international trade document, and that certifies that goods in a particular export shipment are wholly obtained, produced, manufactured, or processed in a particular country. So it is a certificate of origin. So therefore it is important in the mutual trade and to develop economic cooperation among different countries. Next question: the function of MAPIDA includes. So just in a question we have discussed what is MAPIDA. So MAPIDA is Marine Products Export Development Authority. So its main work is to facilitate the export of marine products from our country. So the answer is inspection of marine products, its raw material, fixing standards and specifications so that we can have a free and fair trade of our fish products to the foreign market. The next question is: risk management is a process that includes, so we have three different stages, that is risk assessment, risk communication, and risk management. So in assessment we identify the hazard. In risk communication we share the information about the risk, what level of hazard it can cause, and various different type of information. And in risk management We evaluate the policy alternatives, like if we are having this particular method or to stop this particular hazard, so what can be the alternative, what is the benefit of this particular method. So all these things are in the risk management. So the option 4 is the correct answer to this. The next question, FSSAI was made mandatory by. So the answer is FSSA Act 2006. Under the FSSA Act 2006, FSSAI was made mandatory for all the food products. The answer is option 3. Next question, FBO, that is food business operator is. Who is the food business operator? So a food business operator is the one who runs a food business under the FSSA Act according to the rules and regulations which were being made by FSSAI under FSSA Act 2006. So the answer is option 4. Next question, food business means. So the food business means sale of food or food ingredients for the profit or not, and whether public or private. So this is the definition of food business. Next question, to promote safe and healthy food, FSSAI has launched a training toolkit for health under the scheme. So the answer is Ayushman Bharat. Under Ayushman Bharat, FSSAI has launched many of the different initiatives, different schemes. So this was being launched for the health workers, and under the same it has also launched Eat Right movement and SNF. So SNF was for schools. Next question, Dehradun based Indian Institute of Petroleum has pilot tested to convert used cooking oil into. So the answer is bioaviation turbine fuel. So this was also very common in news at that time. Next question, one step source for managing all activities of food testing through online interface is called as. So the answer is Infolnet, and it stands for Indian Food Laboratories Network. So this is the one step source for managing all the activities of food testing. So the name also suggests the same function. Food means any substance that is. So the answer is processed or unprocessed, which is intended for human consumption. Like food is that thing which is meant for human consumption. Next question, trans fats can be avoided by. So we know that vanaspati ghee is a trans fat which is being made from the vegetable oil by the process of hydrogenation. So if we avoid vanaspati ghee, we can avoid the trans fats. So the answer is option 1. Next question, consumer is defined as. So it is being defined as a person or a family purchasing and receiving food in order to meet their personal needs. If they are buying any food article for their personal needs, for their personal consumption, is being considered as a consumer. Next question, milk and milk products order was promoted by the government of India under the provision of. So the answer is Essential Commodities Act, and there were many other orders under the same Essential Commodity Act, which are edible oil regulations, then meat product order, and then fruit product order. So there were total of 8 orders under this Essential Commodities Act. Next is IFS Quick Access is a system developed by. So the answer is FSSAI. So FSSAI developed this system to integrate all food safety standards and regulations for providing quick access to vertical as well as horizontal standards. So, and also the name suggests like quick access, you will have a quick access to all the FSSAI rules and standards and regulations. Next question is, as per the provisions of MMPO, a person dairy plant needs to be registered with the registering authority appointed by central government if. So there are different provisions given in FSSA Act, like which FBO needs to have the central government licensing, which needs to have the state government registration. So the answer to this is any person dairy plant is handling more than 10,000 liters day of milk. If he is having that much of the milk in the plant, so it means it needs to have been registered under central government. Next question is third party private auditing of FBO will. So there are different types of auditing, like first party, second party, third party. So the third party auditing is like private auditing, so it will reduce the food safety inspections conducted by licensing authorities. A common answer to this question. Next question, the project Clean Street Food is an initiative taken up under a 360-degree approach to. So the answer is same, the common and a very easy answer, food safety and healthy nutrition. To promote food safety, to promote public health, we need to have clean street food. Next question, micronutrients malnutrition lead to. So the answer is goiter. We know that diabetes, pem and obesity are not malnutrition diseases. So the answer is goiter. Next question, risk assessment means a scientifically based process consisting of. So the answer is 4 steps. The 4 steps are identification of hazard, then response assessment, exposure assessment, and then risk characterization. So there are a total of 4 steps. The next question is, the head office of FSSAI is situated in. Very simple question. Answer is Delhi. Next question, ingredient means. So ingredient means any substance which is used to prepare any food. So a very simple definition. Next question, a healthy food contains trans fatty acids content of. The answer is less than 0.2 gram per serving. Next question, a system integrating all food safety standards and regulations for providing quick access to vertical as well as horizontal standards is called. The same question just we have discussed. So the answer is Indian Food Standards Quick Access. So IFS, quick access. Just a few questions before we have discussed the same thing. Next question, the objective of Clean Street Hub includes. So the answer is rigorous implementation of hygiene and safety in the eat out places. So under this, FSSAI targeted to have good hygienic practices among the street food vendors. Next question, online service, namely the food product approval system, is developed to. So it was developed to identify if a food product requires approval for FSSAI or not. If so, then the food will be approved by FSSAI. So FSSAI product approval is required for products which contain ingredients or additives which are not as per standards which were being prescribed in FSSA Act. So under this system, they identify if the food product requires FSSAI approval or not. Next question is, hazard means a. So again, a very simple definition, biological, chemical or physical agent in a food that have the potential to cause any adverse health effect. So simple definition. Next question, authorities jointly responsible for implementation and enforcement of FSSA 2006. So say common answer to this is FSSAI and state food authorities. They are being responsible for the implementation of FSSA Act 2006. Next question, example of commercially sterile product is. So we know that canned foods are commercially sterile. Commercial sterilization means that complete destruction of microorganisms is not possible. Only 90 to 99% of sterility is being achieved, and most of the viable cells are being destructed. So that is known as commercially sterility. So in the canned food, we have commercially sterile food. Next question, the standard plate count is not applicable to. So we know that standard plate count is a microbiological method in which we can get the idea of microbial contamination in a particular food item. So it is being not applicable to fresh fruits and vegetables because fresh fruit and vegetable can have a very high level of microbial count because they already have their natural microflora. So they are not meant to have the standard plate count because then the number of microbial colonies will be very high. So then the test will have no meaning. So therefore this method is not applicable for fresh fruits and vegetables. Next question, temperatures above freezing, activities of foodborne microorganisms can be. So the answer is slow. At freezing or refrigeration, the microbial growth is never stopped, but the rate of growth gets slowed down. So the answer is option 2. Next question, anti-nutrients are also termed as, so they are known as natural toxicants, the natural toxins which are already present in the food naturally, so they are known as natural toxicants, anti-nutrients. Next question, water soluble vitamins include, so the answer is ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C. They are water soluble vitamins. Next is benzoic acid is mostly used to preserve colored products because it darkens the product. As the product has already its color, so it will enhance the color. Therefore the benzoic acid is used for the colored products. And for colored products we never use KMS because it has a bleaching effect, so it will bleach out the color of the food product and then the product will get unacceptable. Next question, if a manufacturing company does not adhere to CGMP regulations, so what is CGMP? So CGMP stands for current good manufacturing practices. So these regulations for drugs contain minimum requirements for the methods, facilities and controls used in manufacturing, processing and packaging of a drug product. So if a company do not follow CGMP regulations, so any drug which is being manufactured by such company will be considered as a adulterated product. Next question, excess glucose gets stored in liver in the form of, a very easy question, the answer is glycogen. In our body the excess of glucose is being stored in our liver in the form of glycogen, and when we are on a fast or we are on a dieting, then this glycogen is being used as a fuel for the body. Next question, calories provided by 1 gram of fat is, so the answer is 9, and by carbohydrate the answer is 4. Next question, the dose of ionizing radiation red appetization is, the answer is 3 kilogram. Next question, chemical preservative is defined as a chemical compound that, so the answer is that retards alterations caused by microorganisms in food. So basically the function of chemical preservative is to preserve the food, to inhibit the microbial growth or to retard the alterations in the food flavors chemistry which is being caused by microorganisms. Next question, fat soluble vitamins include, so the answer is vitamin A because vitamin A, D, E and K are the fat soluble vitamin. Vitamin C, that is ascorbic acid, and certain vitamin B complex vitamins are water soluble vitamins. Next question is 1 kilogram, it is the unit for irradiation. So 1 kilogram is equals to 100 rads. Rads is the basic unit of measuring the irradiations. Next question, psychrophilic microorganisms grow over the temperature range of, so the answer is sub-0 to 20 degrees Celsius. So the ideal temperature for psychrophilic microorganisms ranges from -5 to 30 degrees Celsius. With the optimum temperature range is between 10 to 20 degrees Celsius. So the answer is option 2. Next question, radiation dose is defined as the, so it is being defined as the quantity of radiation energy which is absorbed by the food. So this is the main term which is important in this definition, the energy which is being absorbed by the food when it passes through the radiation during the food processing, and then when the particular amount of radiation is being absorbed by the food, it has certain direct or indirect effect on microorganisms. Next question, the mineral found in hemoglobin is called as, so the answer is iron. The name only suggests hemoglobin, heme that is iron. Next question, asepsis is a process of, so it is a process in which we keep out the microorganism from the environment. So if I talk that asepsis packaging, so asepsis packaging means we are packing the food in the environment which is free from the microorganisms. We are keeping out the microorganisms from that particular environment. Next question, sulfur dioxide is widely used to preserve, so the answer is nectar. Next question, listeriosis is generally caused by, so the answer is Listeria monocytogenes. Answer 2, this particular microorganism causes listeriosis. Next question, one of the major cause for food spoilage are gain or loss of moisture. The gain of moisture or the loss of moisture can affect the texture of the food, the properties of the food. It will also change the enzymatic reactions, the chemical reactions, and also will promote microbial growth. Next question, when a food spoils, its texture becomes slimy because of the texture becomes slimy, and this becomes due to the accumulation of microbial cells on the surface. And we know that the microbial cells also excrete some of the chemicals and some of the slime, so that makes the texture of the food slimy from the surface. Next question. According to FSSA rules, class 2 preservatives include. So we know that there are two categories, class 1 preservatives and class 2 preservatives. Class 1 preservatives include all the natural one, like salt, sugar, oil, natural acids. So all these are class 1 preservative. And in class 2 preservatives, the answer is niacin and other chemicals like sulfur dioxide, then benzoic acid, KMS, and different other. Next question. A process where food is first frozen at minus 18 degrees Celsius on trays and then under high vacuum. So it is called as freeze drying. So in freeze drying, first we freeze the water to the ice crystals and then we apply the vacuum. So due to this vacuum, the ice crystals will directly convert into vapors. That is, there is a sublimation of ice crystals, and that causes the drying of the food product. So the freeze drying has this particular principle. Next question. The C in CGMP stands for. So just in a question we have discussed the same thing. So CGMP stands for current good manufacturing practices. So C stands for current. Next question. And the last question. Sulfur dioxide cannot be used to preserve naturally colored juices because of its. So in one of the question I have discussed the same thing, that sulfur dioxide cannot be used for the colored products because it has a bleaching effect, and if we use this in colored product, it will bleach out the color and the product will become unacceptable. So yes, that was the last question, and this is how we have completed the section B of the FSSAI CFSO exam. So I hope this will help you in your exam preparation. So like the video and subscribe to the channel, as in the coming videos I will be discussing major highlights of the various food organizations, including FSSAI, Codex, BIS, APIDA, and many more, which will be very useful in your exam. So subscribe to the channel and keep watching Food Tech Geeks. Thank you.